Alright, so Key and Ka is the latest movie by R. Balki, the director. Balki, how do you? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but yeah, R. Balki. He's the director of Chinikam, he's the director of Pa, he's the director of the eminently horrible Shamitab. So basically, he makes a lot of kind of different movies, and this is, and again, one of his different movies. The movie is based on a simple concept: boy meets girl, falls in love, and they decide to get married. However, like all Balki movies, there's a twist. So this is the twist in this case is like unlike every other romantic love story, there's no drama or twist in order for them to get married, but the real problems come post-marriage. So the scenario is simple: Arjun Kapoor is a house husband, and Kareena Kapoor is an ambitious, career-oriented working woman. House husbands are a relatively new concept in India, but they are growing slowly in modern Indian society. Now, for most of the runtime, this is an average or a not so great movie just with a strange concept. What the movie really tries to address is the concept of independence in a husband-wife relationship and the ability of making choices and then having those choices accepted and supported by your partner. The movie focuses on the fact that independence is necessary for both men and women, and by independence, the movie means things like the independence to make choices, independence in finances, independence from social norms, the freedom to choose one's own job or profession, or the freedom to even not work if one chooses to, and living the way one likes. The movie focuses on many things like, how the bread earner of the family invariably takes the non-earning member for granted, that sense of insecurity and ego damage that comes when one partner succeeds over the other, and most importantly, it looks at the deteriorating respect for the non-bread earning partner. Now, one thing I liked personally about the film was how it showed that it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. In today's time, egos do get crushed when partner earns more money, fame, or status. Men are not, it's not like men are the sole owners of the ego anymore. It's a movie that it's a good recommendation for women who believe in career and goals, and for men to sort of gives them a glance into the modern woman's thought process. So, and weirdly enough, I don't think anyone but Kareena Kapoor could have done justice to the role of a career-oriented progressive woman, and she really shines, in her acting, and she pulls off the role rather well. Arjun Kapoor also does a very good job, especially when he's brooding, and in the comedy scenes and the brooding scenes, he does it very well, but he's not given much to play on. There seems to be an odd sort of reliance. It's kind of weird. The movie is about breaking down stereotypes, and yet there are a lot of stereotypes in the movie. Like, for example, the first half is quite funny, but for example, what does he do at home? For example, he has a kitty party with fat aunties, and he's teaching them to lose weight. So things like that kind of seem a bit weird, basically, because it's a movie that's trying to break stereotypes and all that. Now, the plot of the movie is here's a weird thing. This is something that's a problem with all bulky movies, whereas the concepts are generally amazing and very different. The execution is generally very poor. The director really needs better script writers. So it's the same case with this one as well. The plot is weak. The thing is, it goes to a certain distance. The usual, the usual numbers are marked. They get married, everything is hunky-dory for a while, and then problems start coming up, and then, they have a fight, and, things kind of breaking, and the rest of the film is about whether they actually get over it, how they get over it, and, whether this concept works, and, things like that. But the problem is this feels very formulaic, very much like formula. Basically, the what I want to know is if we the genders are swapped, obviously, but if the genders weren't swapped, this would just be another love story that we have seen. We've seen this before. If you go all the way, if Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bachchan, who do have a very well thought out cameo in this film, Amitabh Bachchan and Jaya Bachchan, they appear as themselves, and they have a little moment which is quite awesome. But hey, if you look at their movies, back in the 70s, they were making movies like this, where Amitabh Bachchan was jealous of Jaya Bachchan and of her singing career and things like that. So even with the gender swap, it's not a new story. It's just about how they say it. It's just the setting is modern. Instead of the woman being more successful, for example, the earlier movie, Amitabh Bachchan's movie, that was singing. So things like that. In this one, they make no thing. It's a modern setting. They live in Delhi, which feels like an interesting choice. One gets the feeling that Balki put the movie in Delhi just because Delhi is so unsafe. There's even a line in the film where somebody comments, oh, आजकल दिल्ली औरतों के लिए सेफ किधर है मैडम, sort of thing. So the movie set in Delhi. She's an ad executive. She's a VP actually. So high powered corporate job, things like that. So other than the modern setting, not much changes. Now when you come to the flaws of the film, one thing, as I mentioned earlier, the plot is weak. Secondly, the resolutions aren't all that great. And perhaps the biggest stumbling block of the film is that he wants to make a point. Like director Balki, he wants to make a point, but those points are not always well placed in the movie. Let me give you an example example, which is like comes very early in the movie, so I don't consider it much of a spoiler. Like Arjun Kapoor goes to meet Kareena Kapoor's mother, and Kareena Kapoor's mother asks whether he's because Kareena Kapoor's mother finds out that he wants to stay at home and be like a at home husband. So she asks him, she's like, oh, what are you, a freeloader? Chuma pocket mein you want to eat this money? And then Arjun Kapoor launches into this speech about if he was a girl, would this question even be asked? Is he just being asked because he's a man? Ha ha ha. So you see the point. The problem is the movie is filled with these kind of moments. These moments that don't feel real, and they kind of take one out of the film. Like you're watching this film and you're kind of considering the questions that it's raising and you're thinking about it, but then suddenly like this very weird moment comes and you're like, you know what, nothing's going to happen this way. So those kind of things weaken the film. The biggest strength of the film is Kareena Kapoor, who does a really fabulous job, and secondly, it truly is a unique film with a very strong heart and a good message. The movie's biggest weakness is that the movie wants to take a risk. The risks it takes don't feel strong enough, in the sense like he's going, like the movie goes to a certain point but doesn't go beyond that. We don't really see things that would like break a relationship or anything like that. It feels safe there, let me put it that way. The movie feels safe, which is to its own detriment. Now, is the movie worth watching? Definitely it's worth watching at least once, so give it a shot.